Hi everyone, my name is Marc Bates. I'm a metabolic health coach, and today's topic is metabolic health, reversing cellular starvation in obesity. This is the highlights edition of a topic we've covered in more detail earlier. The idea here is to get it in under 5 minutes to you, right? So it's a shorter video. Why obese people starve at the cellular level. The most counterintuitive discovery in metabolic research reveals a shocking paradox. Obese individuals experience cellular starvation despite consuming excess calories. This phenomenon, termed cellular energy deficit in the face of caloric surplus, explains why people can eat continuously yet feel perpetually hungry and fatigued. The mitochondrial energy crisis. Mitochondria produce 90% of cellular energy through ATP synthesis. In metabolic dysfunction, these cellular powerhouses become overwhelmed and inefficient. When someone consumes processed foods rich in refined carbohydrates and seed oils, mitochondria face substrates they cannot efficiently process. This results in a cascade of dysfunction that creates energy scarcity amid abundance. Chronic glucose oversupply triggers constant insulin spikes. Cells respond by downgrading insulin receptors and glucose transporters, effectively blocking fuel entry despite circulating nutrients. Meanwhile, mitochondria become overloaded with NADH from excessive glycolysis and fatty acid oxidation. This overwhelms the electron transport chain, creating bottlenecks at complex 1 and 3, effectively shutting down a lot of the ATP production. The metabolic logjam. Harvard researchers discovered that obese liver cells fail to produce adequate coenzyme Q, metabolism, driving reverse electron transport that generates harmful reactive oxygen species. This creates a metabolic logjam where fuel accumulates in the cytoplasm but cannot enter mitochondria for ATP production. Cells signal energy deficit despite being surrounded by nutrients. The brain experiences this energy crisis acutely. Insulin resistance at the blood-brain barrier impairs glucose uptake, causing cognitive dysfunction, fatigue, and intensified cravings. Paradoxically, the liver continues producing fat through de novo lipogenesis while remaining energy deficient. This explains why people can gain weight while experiencing persistent hunger and low energy. Breaking the inflammatory cycle. Mitochondrial dysfunction triggers microglial activation in the brain. These immune cells shift from surveillance mode to inflammatory overdrive, releasing cytokines that further damage cellular energy production. Research demonstrates that ketogenic diet interventions can reverse this process by converting inflammatory M1 microglial to protective M2 phenotypes through the NFK beta pathway modulation. The most effective intervention requires simultaneous approaches. Simply protecting mitochondria while inflammation persists fails. Likewise, suppressing inflammation without addressing mitochondrial damage proves inefficient. The three-phase recovery protocol. Phase 1 focuses on interrupting the inflammatory cascade. This requires eliminating processed foods, seed oils, and artificial sweeteners while initiating nutritional ketosis within 72 hours. Ketone bodies, particularly beta-hydroxybutyrate, directly inhibit the NLRP3 inflammasome in microglia. This rapidly calms neuroinflammation and begins restoring cellular energy balance. Phase 2 emphasizes mitochondrial rebuilding through targeted nutrition. Red meat, organ meats, and egg yolks provide complete mitochondrial cofactors, including heme iron, CoQ10, carnitine, and B vitamins. Time-restricted eating and periodic fasting promote mitophagy, the cellular process that removes damaged mitochondria while simultaneously biogenesis of healthy replacements. Phase 3 establishes long-term resilience through metabolic flexibility training. This includes cold exposure, red light therapy, and maintaining ketosis cycling to preserve mitochondrial adaptability. So building metabolic resilience. Successfully recovered individuals develop significant resilience to metabolic stress, increased mitochondrial density, and restored antioxidant capacity, creating protective buffer zones against occasional dietary transgressions. However, this resilience has limits. Chronic re-exposure to seed oils, processed foods, or artificial sweeteners can rapidly reinitiate the inflammatory cascade and mitochondrial dysfunction. The key lies in maintaining metabolic flexibility through periodic ketosis, targeted micronutrients, and avoiding known mitochondrial toxins. This creates substantial metabolic health rather than fragile dietary perfectionism. Understanding cellular energy dynamics transforms the approach to metabolic health from calorie restriction to mitochondrial optimization. The solution addresses root causes rather than symptoms, creating lasting metabolic transformation. Thanks for watching. If you would, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Appreciate it.